Welcome back to WKYT News. A new school year for Fayette County students starts in less than a week. But as the first day of school approaches, there is an uptick from previous school years in the number of displaced students.
The McKinney-Vento program in Fayette County tracks and provides assistance for homeless students. Last year, the program identified nearly 1,100 students who don't have dependable housing. This
past summer, a group of students took on a photography project to show the stress of going to school and not having a reliable place to go home to.
WKYT's Carly Hoxton and photojournalist Darnell Crenshaw show us these powerful pictures new at 6.
The photo captures the visuals of being homeless in high school by Brooklyn.
8 photographs are on display outside of the offices of the McKinney-Vento program. Program manager for Fayette County Schools, T.C. Johnson, reads the artist's caption.
This photo is about someone losing their home. The black and white filter is meant to contrast the pink eviction paper. Their work is awesome. They didn't think so at first.
This work comes from a summer camp, a photography class called Photo Voice. The way I see it, voices and vision from the hearts of the youth. 12 students from Fayette County middle and high schools did this work, giving voice to displaced students and showing the stressors of going to school while not having stable housing.
It's by Job, and he says, I see so many things I don't understand anything. This photo is about feeling a lot of certain things, like feeling misunderstood and alone, or being even out of place in general. How do we know how to best serve them if we don't hear from them? How do we know how to do policies if we don't hear from them?
In Lexington, Carly Hoxton, WKYT.
T.C. Johnson says rising rent and disasters like house fires lead to the increased number of students being displaced. Johnson hopes to expand the summer program this school year.